What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, January 16th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 3-game slate tonight. And I personally like these small 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 game slates. I think they're much more manageable to keep track of the players. So I'm going to enjoy this game here tonight. Even though we have the NFL playoffs going on, this is also a good time to kind of get an edge on the field if you can focus on NBA while everyone else is looking at those NFL playoff games. So let's get into this point guard position. I like Jordan Clarkson from the Utah Jazz playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Jordan Clarkson has averaged 25.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. He's projected at 27.4 fantasy points here tonight, and that's 5 times value. He's $5,500 DraftKings salary, 100 less on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 223.5 points scored in this game, and Jordan Clarkson has scored 31, 31, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 34, 27, and 27 minutes. He also has a pretty decent track record here versus the Denver Nuggets. Scored 19, 26, 46, 24, and 36 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Nuggets. So it looks like 4 out of the past 5 games he would have done pretty well for his salary. So I like Jordan Clarkson here versus the Denver Nuggets. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Buddy Hield from the Sacramento Kings playing the Houston Rockets, who have the worst defense overall. They give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards, and Buddy Hield has averaged 26.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. Now, I think he can score 30 fantasy points or more in this matchup. He's $5,700 DraftKings salary and 600 less on FanDuel. So I like that price on both sites, but I love that FanDuel price. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 238.5 points scored in this game. So a super high scoring game, fantastic matchup. And Buddy Hield has scored 32, 17, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 28, and 27 minutes. And Buddy Hield has scored 32, 46, 28, 34, and 23 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Rockets. So last 4 out of 5, he would have done pretty well for his price point. So I like Buddy Hield here versus the Houston Rockets. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. So here's another play from the Sacramento Kings. If you want to stack Buddy Hield and this player, you can save some salary, and these guys both have 30 plus fantasy point upside. I like Harrison Barnes from the Sacramento Kings playing the Houston Rockets, who have the worst defense overall. They give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Harrison Barnes has averaged 29.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. He's projected at 29.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. He's 6,100 DraftKings salary, 100 more on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 238.5 points scored in this game, so this is a good game to stack, especially on a small 3-game slate. And Harrison Barnes has scored 36, 38, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 37, 37, and 28 minutes. And then he scored 36, 37, 31, 40, and 24 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Rockets. So once again, he's done really well the past 4 out of 5 games versus the Rockets. So I like Harrison Barnes here versus the Houston Rockets.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. So you want to run a player back here in this game, stack this game with 3 players? Take a look at Jae'Sean Tate from the Houston Rockets playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the 2nd worst defense overall. They give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Jae'Sean Tate has averaged 27.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 27 minutes per game with a 20% usage rate. He's projected at 27.2 fantasy points here tonight, but in this matchup, and considering he's been performing really well the past couple of games, I think he can score 32 fantasy points or more, even 35 fantasy points or more, and he's 6,300 DraftKings salary, 500 less on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. And Jae'Sean Tate has scored 49, 38, and 16 fantasy points in his last 3 games, playing 31, 28, and 24 minutes. Now, Jae'Sean Tate, he scored 49 fantasy points in his last game versus the Kings. So I think this is a good matchup for him here. I definitely prefer him on FanDuel, but I like Jae'Sean Tate here versus the Sacramento Kings. Okay, moving on to the center position. Another player from this game, I really recommend that you stack this game. I like Christian Wood from the Houston Rockets playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the 2nd worst defense overall. They give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Christian Wood has averaged 36.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 31 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. I think he can score 40 fantasy points or more in this one. He's 8,000 DraftKings salary, 700 less on FanDuel, and Christian Wood has scored 43, 45, and 27 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 26, 31, and 35 minutes. Now take a look at his last 4 games versus the Kings. Scored 43, 52, 48, and 39 fantasy points in his last 4 games versus the Kings. So I like Christian Wood here versus the Sacramento Kings.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.